The Long Ho River, a small river branching from the Cochin River, flows through Vinh Long City and Long Ho District in Vinh Long Province. Seen from above, the river lives up to its name, winding like a dragon, as described in the Comprehensive Encyclopedia of Vietnam. In its approach, the river winds and twists. As it flows away, it extends in a steady stream. It meanders when it flows sideways. When it pools, the water is as clear as crystal. Sweet water flows through all 4 seasons, winding through villages and hamlets. In some places, it's like a forest pool. In others, it forms deep lagoons. Thus, it is called Long Ho Dragon Lake. As an early settled area of the former Long Ho Citadel, the riverbanks of Long Ho have a dense population with many houses and fertile land, making them ideal for agricultural development, commerce, and services that offer benefits both on land and in the water. The first Vietnamese settlers here built communal houses to worship the village's tutelary god, while early Chinese immigrants settled and constructed many buildings, like temples, to worship Ong Ban and Phin Hao. Therefore, the Long Ho River bears a strong imprint of the flow of history and culture. The tourism industry of Vinh Long Province has identified the Long Ho River as one of the key tourism routes to be developed in the coming time. Dear viewers, designated as the key tourism route for Vinh Long Province. So what is attractive about tourism on the Long Ho River? Let's join the link on today's journey to discover the Long Ho River. The tourist boat starts from the mouth of the Cochin River, taking us to the Long Ho River estuary. On the right is the vibrant Vinh Long Market, which features a row of straight shop houses, as well as bustling boats and ships. This is the province's waterway commerce hub, a gathering point for diverse agricultural and aquatic products, regional items, and, most notably, one of the Mekong Delta's biggest fish markets, the Vinh Long Market. View from the Long Ho River helps tourists experience the characteristic on the wharf under the boat's atmosphere of major riverside markets in the Mekong Delta. Anchored at Vinh Long Market are many types of boats, including Geduk Square Hold Aerated Boat, a specialized boat with a large aerated tank for transporting live fish over long distances, typically from the upstream regions of Nzang and Dong Pham to this area. When they transport fish from ponds to markets for sale, the fish remain alive naturally in their boats. This Dong Pham boat is full, which indicates that there are both fish and water on board. This area is the Vinh Long's fish market. Around 9 to 10 p.m., this area is very crowded, like a floating market. At night, there are dozens to hundreds of boats of various sizes like this. Both sides of the Long Ho River, flowing through Vinh Long City, feature buildings with distinct Chinese architecture, such as the Min Wong Assembly Hall. At the mouth of the Long Ho River, it serves as a place for folk religious and community activities. Near there is the Tut Phu Temple, also known as Ong Temple, and the Phin Hao Temple, commonly known as Ba Temple, located on the 2 banks, left and right, of the Long Ho River. These are all beautifully architectured buildings that have been preserved by the community for hundreds of years. The Tut Phu Temple was recognized as a National Historical and Cultural Relic in the category of Architecture and Art. In 1994, the temple was built in 1872, following the 4-sided courtyard design. The roof features curved tiles, with the middle roof section higher than the 2 side sections. The interior space contains many ancient figures, statues, and folk life scenes. The wooden frame structure is made from precious wood, with intricate carvings, all of which are of outstanding architectural artistic value. The Long Ho River section, passing through Vinh Long City, has a dense population with houses closely packed along both riverbanks. This riverside settlement pattern is both typical of the southern region and indicates this is an area with favorable weather conditions convenient for daily life and production. Along the Long Ho River today, traditional production facilities still remain, such as carpentry workshops, blacksmith shops, and rice mills. Though fewer in number than before, these are traces of the once thriving economic activities. Along the river, the development of trade has enriched cultural and spiritual life, creating a major distinction between the Long Ho River and other rivers in the province. Notably, the Long Ho River section, flowing through Vinh Long City, has many historical and cultural relics, showing the long-term settlement of Vietnamese residents. Most prominent is Van Than Temple on the right bank of the Long Ho River, considered as the Temple of Literature of the South, and one of the first 3 Van Than temples, built in southern Vietnam, a signature destination of the Mekong Delta. This Van Than Temple was built after the Long Ho Citadel by scholars Pham Thanh Giang and Nguyen Thong. During the French occupation of the 3 eastern provinces, scholars and intellectuals sought refuge in this place to engage in literary and poetic discussions. A unique feature of this Van Than Temple is the Van Duong Pavilion on the right side. Different from other Van Than temples, visitors come to the Van Than Temple in Vinh Long to experience the historical and cultural depth of the Long Ho Citadel region. Though the structure has undergone many historical ups and downs, with multiple restorations, it maintains its original ancient character, a source of pride for the Vinh Long residents. Near the Van Than Temple, on the left bank of the Long Ho River, is the Long Than Communal House, the oldest and largest communal house of the first Vietnamese settlers in this area. The communal house honors the ancestors who pioneered in developing villages and fields. Both structures are national historical cultural relics of Vinh Long province. The Long Ho River holds an extremely important position and is the pride of Vinh Long people. Mentioning the Long Ho River connects to the pride of Vinh Long residents, as it carries nearly 300 years of history. Tourism can be developed along the Long Ho River. From the Long Ho River into the Ong Mi River, there are numerous ancient houses, many of which are more than 100 years old. Combining river tourism with land tourism creates great appeal. Traveling by water allows visitors to dock and visit historical sites. I think that's advantageous. On the Long Ho River journey, tourists can visit ancient houses like Mr. Phu Can's house and the Mai's family house in Ward 5, Vinh Long City, or Mr. Nguyen Kim Teen's ancient house in Long Phuoc Commune. Along the Long Ho River, there are many houses built in the original architecture of the French colonial period with high artistic value. If the Long Ho River Park, flowing through Vinh Long City, is rich in architectural structures with cultural and religious significance, the segment flowing through Long Ho and Mang Thit districts has considerably distinct characteristics. Here, the population density is lower, replaced by the green of prosperous fields, nourished year-round by Long Ho River's alluvial deposits. Along with this are craft villages and traditional trade communities, nestled beneath mangrove apple trees or within century-old houses. Traveling downstream on the Long Ho River of Vinh Long, we can visit many tourist spots that we have already passed by. Now, I'd invite everyone to explore a very interesting place, which is a very special traditional craft of Long Ho. Along this river, many residents have long been connected to this unique craft village. These are leaves from the talipot palm tree, locally known as Buong. After ironing, you'll have these leaves. See, it expands and becomes flat like this. This mold, as the ladies typically say, has 16 rings, which correspond to the 16 full moons of a woman's youth, a really beautiful age. Then they'll place the leaves on the mold like this. The craftswomen will arrange the leaves evenly all over this mold, and they'll sew them. Here, it's called chum, or stitching the conical hat, stitching from small leaves to larger leaves, from the small rings to the larger rings. Finally, there's nut, which refers to excessive stitching. That means it will have a brim like this, which the craftswomen will reinforce with further stitching to assure the completion of a sturdy conical hat. Along the Long Ho River, the craft of stitching conical hats continues to exist, adding to the river's unique appeal. The conical hat has been associated with the image of hardworking Vietnamese women through generations and is still preserved by the mothers and sisters in this craft village. Mrs. New, when did you start making conical hats? I have been doing it since I was in 3rd grade. I'd make them after coming home from school, and I continued making them into adulthood because my parents have also been doing this for several decades now. Who taught you this craft, Mrs. New? This craft has been in Long Ho for a very long time. Since my grandmother's time, my parents also did it, and now the descendants continue following our ancestors' tradition. Even if we go elsewhere or do other jobs, we still return to the craft. And now, even in my old age, I'm still practicing this craft. How long have you been stitching the hats now? It's been over 40 years now. I started doing this when I was in my teens. Now I'm 63 years old. For a very long time, the conical hat stitching has become part of the production activities of farming households, especially among women here. In sub-village 6 of Long Ho Town, nearly 200 women still maintain the hat-making craft. This craft has the advantage of being home-based work, allowing the women to avoid the hardship of working outdoors in sun and rain. At home, they can both stitch conical hats and take care of their families to earn extra income, but most importantly, to preserve the craft. When seeing this conical hat, it looks beautiful, especially when worn with a traditional ao ba ba. How do you feel when so many tourists come to learn about the conical hats, Mrs. Sao? I'm overjoyed. It makes me even more passionate about my craft. The conical hat making craft here has been passed down through many generations. According to the elderly, the hat stitching technique was brought by migrants from Hue, who shared it with the locals, and it has been preserved until today. Despite the fact that the major materials for producing conical hats, such as talipot palm leaves and bamboo, are not available locally, the women's passion for hat making has led them to source these materials from afar to keep this tradition alive. In the key tourism route development plan along Long Ho River, the Long Ho conical hat stitching craft is an attractive product for tourists. Continuing our journey on the cool green Long Ho River, we visit another craft village specializing in bamboo weaving, not far from the hat stitching village, located in Phuoc Hamlet, Ho Tin Commune, Mainfit District. Making bamboo crafts is a labor-intensive process that involves buying bamboo and then going through the steps of sawing, scraping, marking, splitting, smoothing, shaping, and finally weaving it. Mrs. Pham Tiho, the head of the Women's Union in Phuoc Hamlet, proudly shared. The hamlet has about 170 households, and they all know how to weave. During the flood season, household products like baskets, sieves, and pot holders from the Phuoc Craft Village are in high demand. The technique used to create these traditional handcrafted products promises to provide tourists with interesting experiences and unforgettable memories for them. Whether you're weaving a basket or a tray, it always has these double woven slats in the middle. But right in the center, you'll weave in different patterns. Maybe one section, then two, then three. For the next for squares, you'll use a double weave technique. When you get the double weave just right, it creates this beautiful wavy texture. Once you've finished weaving, you'll move on to the final touches. Our ancestors used to say that, whatever work you do it thoroughly, and don't leave it halfway. Through this weaving, our ancestors also reminded us, commit to your goals wholeheartedly, lest you become a subject of ridicule. That's why these ladies are so precious. They work thoroughly and never give up. It's a wonderful experience to be able to see and touch firsthand the materials used to create traditional items. Tourists will be highly astonished by elderly Mrs. Nguyen T. Tone's expert hands during the production stages of making pot holders. To complete a bamboo pot holder, the elderly craftswomen spend considerable time and effort. After a pot holder is shaped, it's directly heated over rice straw fire to achieve a beautiful golden brown color. The craft village members used to take their finished products to market themselves. Today, thanks to improved transportation and increased reputation of their craft, traders come directly to purchase from them, with the orientation toward developing tourism linked to craft villages. These baskets, sieves, and pot holders, made entirely from natural materials through traditional handcrafting processes, promise to be charming souvenirs, convenient for tourists to take home as mementos. Exploiting the legacy along the Long Ho River is expected to be a novel tourism destination with distinctive local products. Along this river route, there are historical sites and very long-established traditional craft villages. Our cultural sector sees this as an opportunity to develop tourism attractions along the Long Ho River that draw visitors. In the near future, the Division of Culture and Information will provide advice to the District Tourism Development Steering Committee, the District People's Committee, and the District Party Committee on how to effectively combine the craft villages of Long Ho with those of neighboring areas. In the proposal we are submitting to the party-designated representation of the Provincial People's Committee to present to the Standing Committee of the Provincial Party Committee, there is a project for restructuring the tourism sector. Among the initiatives, we aim to rebuild and develop new tour routes for the province. Within these tour routes, we have specifically outlined a tourism route along the Long Ho River. I believe this is a new product that needs to be developed in the coming time. When we build and complete this route, it will connect with traditional routes to enhance the province's tourism competitiveness compared to other units in the region. Through this, we can attract more visitors. One advantage of developing a tourism route on the Long Ho River is its ability to connect multiple local areas within the province. By traveling by boat along the Long Ho River, tourists can view national-level historical and cultural sites. In the city center, they can dock and visit the ancient houses along the Long Ho River or experience the craft villages in Mangfit to feel the genuine, hospitable nature of the local people. When touring the river, we can easily create tourism product connections between neighboring localities. For example, at the end of the Long Ho River in the Mangfit section, after visiting the Weaving Craft Village in Vung Hamlet, tourists can move to the Ceramic Kingdom of Mangfit or visit a houseboat, another unique destination tourists should not miss. The tourism route along the Long Ho River is currently being focused on by the tourism sector and local authorities. To be completed, touring along the Long Ho River is an exciting journey that interweaves nostalgic memories of the ancient Long Ho Citadel region with the beautiful labor and production scenes of the contemporary local life. The narratives and love spots along the Long Ho River will unlock the river's tourism potential, helping to shape the unique character of Vinh Long tourism. The Long Ho River is familiar to the Vinh Long residents, and I have visited it many times. Each time I come to the river, I have my own special emotions. So proud. We must recognize and take pride in our river, our profession, our hometown, and our country. We will continue to promote, preserve the beauty of the river, maintain our professional identity, and introduce our hometown of Vinh Long to friends both domestically and internationally. Unlike journeys on larger rivers, the Long Ho River's waterway allows tourists to observe relic sites more closely and feel the pace of the life on both banks more deeply. In addition, along with the shared information and stories, we will be able to perceive the significant transformations over time along the banks of the Long Ho River. These are just Tu Lin's personal perceptions. What about you, dear viewers? Come and embark on a journey along the Long Ho River and have your own unique experiences. Our journey ends here. Warm regards, and see you in future adventures.